Alright, so we're going to be looking into dividing integers. A positive divided by a positive is a positive. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. This is the same as multiplication. It's the same rules. We're going to look into why. So in a problem like this, a negative 12 divided by a negative 4. So that means I owe $12 and I'm going to split it into payments of $4. So there's one payment, I'm at negative 4. There's two payments, I'm at negative 8. 3 payments means it takes me 3 payments to pay it off. There's 4, 8, 12 negatives. Negative 12 split up into groups of negative 4 means I have 3 groups. I carried the ball for negative 12 yards, and each time was negative 4 yards, means I had 3 rushes. It probably sat me down on the bench after that. Yeah, so a negative divided by a negative makes a positive because I'm taking a negative number and I'm splitting it into groups of negatives, and it's asking me how many groups. So this number would be how many groups. When I investigate something like this, a negative number divided by a positive, so when the signs are different, my answer is negative. The reason is, if I had a negative 15 and I want to divide it into 3. Okay, so we go somewhere and the bill is $15. We want to split it between 3 people. How much does each person owe? Well, let's see. That's $3 paid. I'm splitting it into 3 groups. 1, 2, 3 groups. We're at 9, 12, 15. So in each of the 3 groups we have a negative 5, a negative 5, and a negative 5. So my answer is negative 5. Each group has negative 5. The reverse of that, right? Because negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 equals negative 15. So it's working hand in hand with the multiplication. I have 3 groups of negative 5. I have 3 groups of negative 5 to make $15. $15 split into groups of 3, into 3 groups makes negative 5 in each group. I ran the ball for negative 15 yards and I split that between 3 carries. My average was negative 5. Alright, and I want to get into just a little bit of applying that. So if x was, we'll say, 10 and y is 5. So if I had a problem like 2 minus, I want to say 5 minus 2x all divided by y. 5 minus 2x divided by y. So the substitution problem means I'm going to have to plug this in. When the 2 is right next to the x, that means multiplication. So 5 minus 2 times x, that's what that's saying. So, and that's 10. Divided by y is 5, so I can plug that in because y equals 5, so 5 can go in the place of y. Now, order of operations, subtraction or multiplication, this multiplication has to go first. So this becomes 5 minus 20, negative 2 times 10 is a negative 20, all divided by 5. Well, 5 minus 20, or 5 plus a negative 20, would make a negative 15 divided by 5. So again, then it comes down to, okay, I owe $15. We're going to split that between 5 people. Means each person owes 3. A negative divided by a positive makes a negative. The signs are different, my answer is negative. The signs are the same, my answer is positive.